Hey everybody, this is episode 224 of Fine Music, but we've lost one of our quartet, so hopefully Jim will return to us. But we have faith he will, and Murray is hoping he will too, because Murray's got something to
Yeah,
share right
as
now.
I'm doing my version of a one he did, just as he just now did his version of one I've done.
Hmm.
Um, but this is Desert Island Discs,
Oh, yeah.
100 of them or so.
Oh, wow.
Um, Now, first, the whole idea of Desert Island Discs, I understand it, but there are no albums that I could spend the rest of my life listening to. There,
Good point.
there are, there are certainly albums that I would get something new out of if I listened to them a dozen times or even 2 dozen times, especially, some jazz or classical or experimental works. But they're not, usually a Desert Island Disc is like 10, and it'd be like, within a month,
Yeah.
I need something new. Give me something new. So even as I'm going with 100, I'm kind of saying I don't, it still wouldn't be enough. But so what
Mm.
this basically is then is like my top 100 CDs this week. So here we go.
Screen share?
Screen share,
All
yes.
right.
Little video I made. Um,
Oh, wow.
so now it goes fairly quickly. So we'll actually pause here and just get, what do we got here? We got about the 10, 12, Glad and Sane by David Bowie, Raw Power by Iggy and the Stooges, Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones, Patti Smith Horses, The Doors' first album, um, Marquee Moon by Television, The White Album, London Calling, Tommy, Highway 61, Bob Dylan, Talking Heads, Little Creatures, and King Crimson Discipline. Okay, so those are my absolute top. And then we will start this moving along slowly. And feel free to, inquire, or I may have to stop a few moments like, okay,
Whoa,
there we
whoa. You passed up BOC.
Oh, yeah, I did. Back there. There's Tyranny Mutation.
Yeah.
This is Gabriel. We've talked about him. Warren's Eve on the Wind, one of the, dying albums.
Hmm.
Bowie and Leonard Cohen put them out too. Banyan, live at Perkins Palace. I've talked about Nels Klein and I've talked about Mike Watt, and they both are performing on that along with Steve Perkins from Jane's Addiction and a trumpet player named Lily Waldman. Uh,
Hmm.
Richard
Perkins
Thompson.
Palace.
What?
I was just going to say I've seen a few shows there. I saw a few shows there in the 80s. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Richard Thompson, Shoot Out the Lights. This one I've got Paul Simon, So Beautiful, So What, which I think is possibly his best album and probably his
Ah,
most poetic.
Hmm.
It's a very interesting album. And the lyrics, some of them, like it seems like he shifts topic in the middle of a song, but they all fit together. So yeah, I really love that one. Oh, and Public Image second edition, noisy, hard to listen to, but I love it. And then what do we got here? Blondie, some more Paul Simon, Annie DeFranco, Little Plastic Souls, Neil Young's Freedom. Well, let me just take a pause and see if we're missing anything important. I mean, again, if you see anything that catches your eye. So now we're getting more into the classic rock stuff that, you would expect to
Hmm.
find on a top 100 list. The Good Rats, I talked about them. Um,
Oh, that's a good album.
the whole album, yeah, it is. Now let me see if I can. Uh,
Because I'm familiar with Nirvana. I was just curious if Hole's just as good
the
as
whole,
Nirvana.
I actually like that album better than any of their Nirvana albums.
Wow.
I think it has more variety on it.
Hmm.
It's also got more melody, honestly.
Mhm.
There is, rumor that Kurt Cobain actually wrote half the songs on the album. So
Oh,
that's, let me go back a
I'm
bit.
glad I asked.
Yeah, but I really like it, and it's I mean, it's ironically it's called Live Through This, and it was released the week he killed himself.
Oh,
So it wasn't, none of it was directly about that, but
mhm.
did I mean it's definitely influenced by the life they were living. Live Dead 1970, my favorite Grateful Dead album. What do we got here? Ram, Live at Leeds, two versions of Live at Leeds. Hope we can stop here for a second. Whoop, come on. What are you
The
doing?
short and the long versions. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Um, and there we are. Personally, I think there are actually like 4 or 5 different versions.
Hmm.
My favorite is the shortest, what was originally released on vinyl, 6 songs, just hard rock and roll, get in, get out, no wasted anything. I mean, you can get up to a box set which includes the complete concert at Leeds, which included an entire performance of Tommy,
Mhm.
well as another hour of Who hits, and
Wow.
the performance at Hall the night before, which was originally supposed to be the live album, but they had technical problems. So that's a little overkill for me. I'm just happy with the 6 songs. Um,
I just hit an artist that I've never heard of, Chuck Prophet.
yeah, I think I haven't talked about him yet.
I don't know. Yeah. Help me out, Fred.
Okay, if I maybe I haven't. Maybe I
Yeah.
think he was too well known. So I should do
Oh,
one on Chuck Prophet because he's one of my favorites. Just briefly, he came out of a LA like late punk band. I don't know, sometimes it's called Green on Red.
hmm. Don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know Green on Red.
but he's got a really strong solo career going. I did
Hmm.
talk about the Walkabouts. Um,
Yeah.
Sinead O'Connor there, her first album. Okay, I'll stop for this one. I've talked about this woman, Emily Wells. This is an album that I could conceivably listen to over and over again and get more out of it every time. Promise by Emily Wells. Ramones collection, Aerosmith, Chicago, Woodstock. Talked about Residents, Eskimo, and Shel Silverstein freaking at the Freakers Ball. All the
Huh.
non-children stuff he did. Pretty much nothing on there. Well, except there's Sarah Sylvia, Cynthia Stout would not take the garbage out.
Hmm. Yeah.
Probably the only child-friendly song on the entire album. So there you have it, a quick skim through my top 100 CDs, more or less. I haven't actually counted them, but
Wow.
Uh,
it's worth. That's my musical taste.
I
That was
I I prefer the Grateful Dead live album that came out in the late '60s, Live Dead.
That's the one I've got.
That's their best album live.
yeah, you both agree.
Yeah,
So it must be true.
yeah, and that is actually was an album that was in my parents' record collection, but funny it wasn't there anymore when I went through
Uh,
it.
Oof.
So someone else must have gotten it. Yeah,
Well, thank you, Murray.
yeah,
That was a really interesting episode, and I'm sure Jim will watch it and comment.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, that was 224 people, only one episode to go today.